So, hallo. So, hallo. So, hallo. Da bin ich wieder. Dieses Mal mit einem neuen Spiel und zwar Return to Monkey Island. Das ist ja das neue Adventure, so dass nach Monkey Island 2 spielen soll, wenn ich das recht gelesen habe. Also ich selber habe Monkey Island 1 und Monkey Island 2 damals noch auf dem Amiga gespielt. Hat mir hervorragend gefallen, die beiden Spiele. Die restlichen Monkey Islands habe ich nie gespielt, sondern bloß immer mal auf YouTube die Let's Plays angeschaut, aber für mich waren eben nur die Monkey Island 1 und 2, das waren für mich die Monkey Island Spiele. Und ich habe mir lang überlegt, ob ich Return to Monkey Island mir kaufen soll, weil ich ehrlich sagen muss, die Grafik mir nicht so zugesagt hat. Aber ich habe mich jetzt durchgerungen, es doch zu kaufen, weil ich einfach neugierig war oder auch bin, wie sie es jetzt gemacht haben nach Monkey Island 2, wie es da jetzt weitergehen soll, wie sie das mit dem Vergnügungspark jetzt verknüpfen, dass das funktioniert. Deswegen haben wir gekauft und ich bin natürlich der großen Hoffnung, dass der alte Spielspaß und die alte Atmosphäre wiederkommt und wenn ich mir die Musik so anhöre, also von der Musik her, auf jeden Fall mal schauen, ob ich mich an die Grafik gewöhnen kann. Aber da sind wir jetzt im Grundbildschirm, da schaue ich es mir mal das Sammelalbum erstmal an.
Hey, wanna see my mighty pirate scrapbook? It's filled with my adventures.
Ja, ich würde sagen, öffnen wir einfach mal das Buch, oder? Und schauen nach.
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a mighty pirate. In the old days, you became a pirate by completing 3 trials to prove your worth.
Ja, Monkey Island 1. An die 3 Piraten kann ich mich erinnern. Gouverneurin. Die Hunde, ja. Die Schwertkämpferin, ja richtig, da.
Treasure hunting is important for any pirate.
Ja.
The pirate leaders were in charge of the 3 trials, acting as judge, jury, executioner, and devoted grog tasters.
Ja, von denen hat man die Aufträge
The test of
bekommen.
thievery involved breaking into the governor's mansion. The security was heavy. This is when I met Elaine, the love of my life. She was governor at the time.
Das ist alles Monkey Island
Things took
1.
an unexpected turn while I was working on the 3 trials. Elaine was kidnapped and taken to Monkey Island by the nefarious ghost pirate LeChuck. I scraped together a crew. Carla, Otis, and Meathook joined me on my voyage to Monkey Island to save Elaine.
Ja.
LeChuck thought he was in love with Elaine.
Oh.
My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I, sort of falsified. My first ship was the Sea Monkey. I bought it at Stan's used ships with a letter of credit that I...
ja.
Monkey Island was a steaming volcanic mystery, covered with jungle and not found on any map. On the island was a gigantic monkey head statue with hidden catacombs underneath. I met an
Hermann.
old castaway there, Herman Toothrot. He and the locals wrote a lot of indignant letters to each other.
Oh ja, da dieses Geisterschiff und die ganzen Geister waren damals, also da hat mir die Grafik sehr gut gefallen,
LeChuck's ghostly
wie
ship
sie
was
das gemacht
anchored in a
haben.
lake of lava hidden beneath the island's surface.
Das Blau und das Schwarze, also das war genial.
We wound up back on Melee Island for the stunning conclusion to my first big adventure. I made it to the church just in time to stop the wedding. Or so I thought. It was the beginning of something magical. I defeated LeChuck and he basically exploded. It was the beginning of something magical.
Ja.
these are from the time I went to find the treasure of Big Whoop. I met my good friend Wally, who makes maps, and I stole his monitor.
Ja, das ist schon Monkey Island 2.
The map to the treasure had been torn into 4 pieces, which, let's face it, is about as piratey as it gets. Elaine always seems to know when I need her. The mysterious voodoo lady at the International House of Mojo taught me to make a voodoo doll, which came in handy more than once. Again, it came down to just me and LeChuck at the end. He was using magic, but then, so was I. One time, Elaine got turned into a statue. Well, LeChuck was behind it, of course. The fact that he turned her into a statue tells me that LeChuck doesn't really love Elaine. He thinks of her as furniture.
Das habe ich nicht
I
gespielt.
got buried alive. It was around this time that I met Murray, the allegedly all-powerful demonic skull, after a rousing sea battle. Things backfired on LeChuck because Elaine and I got married when it was all over. Game, set, matchmaker. This was a great day. Though in retrospect, we shouldn't have had the scum bar handle the catering. Elaine and me together forever. The daggers are symbolic of cutting through troubles, I think. I wrote a great haiku for the wedding invitation. It's either Elaine's wedding veil or my handkerchief. We got them to match. I don't know why you have to have candy-coated almonds at a wedding, but apparently you do.
Ach, das sind kandierte Mandeln.
Oh man, this was that crazy time LeChuck teamed up with an Australian billionaire and tried to use a mystical talisman to make Elaine his bride. Everything started because they thought Elaine was dead, so they held an election to replace her. The ultimate insult wasn't really ultimate, or even an insult at all. Or was it? I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts. It didn't help with anything, but I had fun doing it. LeChuck and I battled it out on a grand scale that time. I made a goofy monster out of prosthetic body parts. It didn't help with anything, but I had fun doing it. Then there was the time I accidentally let loose LeChuck's pox over the entire Caribbean. Or so it seemed. I had to wear a hook for a while. It came in handy. The death card doesn't usually represent literal physical death, except when it does. I went on trial for my life on 4 separate charges. I defended myself, of course.
So,
Oh, here's that voodoo doll from the end of my Big Whoop adventure.
ah
I
ja,
defeated LeChuck
das
with
ist der
this.
Zweier.
His leg came
Teil.
off as easy as tearing a loaf of bread.
Aha. Dann würde ich mal sagen, beginnen wir ein neues Spiel und stürzen uns ins Abenteuer. Ich bin jetzt wirklich schon gespannt, wie es weitergeht. Einfacher Modus, die ganze Geschichte und der ganze Spaß, aber mit gelegentlichen Rätseln für den vielbeschäftigten Spieler. Schwerer Modus, mehr Rätsel, schwere Rätsel, einfach affenstark für den Profi-Abenteuerspieler, der alles will. Gut, ich bin kein Profi-Abenteuerspieler, aber ich will alles. Beim Zweierteil hat man gespuckt. Auftakt, eine unerwartete Geschichte beginnt. Hoffen wir's.
Take this, LeChuck! Guybrush, come over here. Gently now. Remove my mask. Will you promise to stop picking on me? All right, I promise. Anything. Just put my leg back on.
Hey, you kids. You're not supposed to be in here.
Oha, das Ende vom zweiten Teil.
Let's goof on those two. Pretend they're our parents.
Yeah! Sorry we ran off. You were probably worried about murderers and ne'er-do-wells.
Don't worry, I found him.
Come on, let's go.
Let's pretend I have powers that make lightning come out of my eyes.
It's so lifelike.
I wonder if it's real.
Ah, das ist eine Anspielung auf den Schluss vom zweiten Monkey Island.
Sorry,
Mit
boys, but
Blitzen
you
aus
stop
den
following us.
Augen.
It's creepy.
Come on. I
So.
saw a scurvy dog shack back there.
Scurvy dogs. I've never had one of those.
No way. You have to try one. It's the best thing you'll ever eat in your life. No fooling.
Wow.
So, kurze Erklärung. Das hier ist Guybrush Threepwood, der Pirat.
Got a scurvy dog that was
Das
bigger
ist
than
sein
my head.
Bruder und der spielt da den LeChuck. Und was wir hier alles gesehen haben, war das Ende des zweiten Teiles. Allerdings waren in dem Ende des zweiten Teils die zwei, der Mann und die Frau, deren Eltern, und bei ihm sind plötzlich Blitze aus den Augen erschienen. Das war dann vorher, dass das vermutlich war das die Anspielung drauf.
Scurvy dogs with cheese inside.
Jetzt schauen wir mal nach. Corridors kaufen. Okay. Ups. Ah ja, da ist der Pfeil. Und linker Mausknopf und er bewegt sich.
I once had the hiccups for 4 days straight.
Das Schild lesen.
Exhibit removed. Aw. Hey, Chucky, stand over here for a minute.
Nah, I want to get scurvy dogs. Did you know you can keep a scurvy dog warm by sticking it in your armpit?
Blumsklo herumspielen. Schauen wir mal.
It's locked. Maybe one of the shops has a key.
So, dann oh, hier ist was.
Words don't look like words, but there's a picture of a scurvy dog.
Ah, da kann man sie besorgen. Gehen wir mal rein. Okay, also die Grafik ist auf jeden Fall gewöhnungsbedürftig.
It says, return outhouse key when finished, or else.
Aha.
Those glasses are thicker than the layer of grease on the floor.
Aha.
Looks like they need a swabby in here. I'll never be the ship's swabby. That is really, really low.
Mit Tab kann man
How
also
much are those
schauen.
chicken foot fries?
Chicken foot fries are 2 pieces of 8.
In France, they call a scurvy dog a chien scorbut.
So.
How much is a mug of grog?
Grog's for grown-ups. Beat it.
So. Ah,
How
ja.
much are the scurvy dogs?
Scurvy dogs are only a half piece of 8. That's money that grown-ups use.
I know what a piece of 8 is. Those
So.
glasses are thicker than the layer of grease on the floor.
I don't see very well, but I can hear just fine. You kids better have money.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of money.
Aha.
Can we get a
wieder.
couple of scurvy dogs?
Sure, if you give me a piece of 8.
I guess never mind.
Hey, I know. Let's look for change in the outhouse across the way. Coins fall out of people's pockets when they sit down in there.
Ja, dann schauen wir mal, ob wir es
They
bekommen.
put it on a leg to keep you from walking off with it.
I can stand on my head without using my hands.
They put it on a leg to keep you from walking off with it.
Aha, rechter Mausknopf.
I'll bring this right back, sir.
You'd be wise to do that. I got the leg from the last kid who didn't bring back the key.
So. Und Blumsklo.
It's locked. Good thing I've got the key in my pocket.
I once ate 2 scurvy dogs at the same time.
So.
It unlocks the outhouse.
Nehmen. Die Tür. Ah, ja, so.
Good, you unlocked it.
Oh. Sieht ja lecker aus.
Why don't you look in the toilet?
No way. You do it.
Okay.
Ugh.
Ne, warte.
Gross. Gross.
I have an extra tooth in the back. I can feel it with my tongue.
So.
It isn't a piece of eight, but it's a round piece of metal about the same size and shape as a piece of eight.
That's called a slug. It's like a fake coin.
Mit rechts.
A fake coin is almost as good as a real coin.
Dann schauen wir mal das an.
I don't see any coins, and I'm not putting my hands in that.
Was steht da?
Please wash hands before leaving outhouse. I'm not touching that gunk. It seems more like something Chucky would do.
Did you know your feet won't smell if you don't wash them?
Kann man da irgendwie benutzen? Nee, dann gehen wir wieder zurück. Und gehen wieder da rein. Stopp, hier war's doch. Und da haben wir doch auch den Fettfleck da unten gehabt. Schauen wir mal. Kann ich den nicht benutzen mit dem Schmierfett? Ne, anscheinend nicht. Schade. Aber den muss man dann irgendwie...
Hey, look! I'm returning the key.
You want a medal?
Okay, jetzt muss ich nur noch schauen.
It looks like a piece of eight, if you don't see very well.
Mhm. Dann schauen wir mal.
Now what?
Can we get a couple of scurvy dogs?
Sure, if you give me a piece of eight.
So. Schauen wir mal.
What can we get with this?
Tastes like a piece of eight. Enough for a couple of scurvy dogs if you want.
Perfect!
Sehr schön.
What are you getting?
What?
Just kidding. Here's yours.
Sieht super aus. Okay.
I'm having these for breakfast, lunch, and dinner forever. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Ich würde sagen, speichern wir es erstmal ab. So.
At home, I've got a collection of old scurvy dog sticks that fills a whole shoebox. I wonder where those two people we were following went.
So, jetzt ist halt die Frage, es gibt ja keine Aufgabe.
Wakey, wakey, Mr. Pirate. Hello? Boo!
Ha! He's dead to the world.
Schauen wir mal, was kann man da noch? Oha.
Hey, Chucky, get ready to run. I guess they don't like visitors.
I wonder where those two people we were following went.
Okay, das bedeutet wohl, dass wir den folgen sollen.
That's my friend Dee. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Chucky, what are you jerk faces up to?
We just got here.
I'm making a list of stuff to do.
Give me that. I'm an expert planner. There. Perfect. Great! See you around the park, shitheads!
So, dann schauen wir mal, was hat sie geschrieben. Den Anker ansehen, Schuki im Rennen schlagen.
That's a cool anchor.
That just shows how little you know about anchors. This one's not a very good example. You'd know that if you read as much about anchors as I have. Did you know that anchors originally weren't designed to hold ships in place? They were used in combat, shot from cannons as a grapple when you were trying to board another ship. They started making them bigger and bigger because they would do more damage that way. Then, people noticed what happened when you missed the other ship and hit the sea bottom instead. The current bow-shaped design is actually less effective than the sharper V-shaped design that was popular last century. But the older design went out of fashion after sailors started to think the letter V was bad luck. You can still find the old kind around sometimes, but collectors have grabbed most of them. On a modern anchor, if you look close, you can tell that one side is a little larger than the other. That's to prevent what's called plummeting, where the anchor goes down too evenly, and then it doesn't catch well on the bottom. The little flanges at the tips are at different angles to make it twist on the way down for the same reason. Most anchors these days are made of iron, and you have to recast them like twice a year because they rust. About 30 years ago, somebody thought of a way to get around that by making them out of wood instead. All kinds of people invested a lot of money in these wooden anchor companies. But the only way they could keep them from floating was to attach another anchor. And so they gave up and went back to the old way. The word anchor comes from the Sanskrit word nagara, meaning city. They're called that because when you stop in the middle of the ocean, it's like you've made port at an invisible city. Yeah, I'm kind of an expert on anchors. I read a lot.
So, ja, schauen wir mal. So. Guck mal, wo haben wir es hier? Okay. So, dann schauen wir mal an. Ja, Rennen schlagen, die Ente füttern, etwas Soße. Schwertkampf üben, finden sich etwas am Wunsch. So, jetzt schauen wir mal, was kann man hier sonst noch alles sehen.
Hey, Chucky, wanna race?
You're on.
I'll officiate. 3, 2, 1, go! Chucky wins!
Woohoo! Yeah!
Darn. You up for another race?
You're on.
I'll officiate. 3, 2.
Hey, cheater!
You have to wait until I say go.
Did you know your feet won't smell if you don't wash them?
You up for another race?
You're on.
I'll officiate. 3, 2, 1, go!
Aha. Also. Okay, den habe ich geschlagen. Ich musste nur auf den linken Mausknopf drücken.
Hey, hands off!
So.
I have an extra tooth in the back. I can feel it with my tongue.
Dann schauen wir mal, was haben wir hier? Gibt.
What's this red glob on the ground?
That's ketchup. It's supposed to be really good with scurvy dogs.
Aha, dann schauen wir mal.
You're not gonna touch the ground with your scurvy dog.
No, of course not. Gross.
Oh.
I found a 4-leaf clover.
Awesome.
There was still one left. Darn.
Do not pick the 4-leaf clovers. As if.
Did you know you can keep a scurvy dog warm by sticking it in your armpit?
So, Schwertkampf üben. Schauen wir mal. Es wird wahrscheinlich alles Vorbereitung aufs Spiel sein.
Let's be frank. You can never hope to beat me.
No way. You'll never catch up to my level.
I win.
I win.
You guys are both pretty weak.
Well, anyway, that was fun.
So.
I want to feed the duck.
So, Schwertkampf üben. Ja. Wünschen, die Ente füttern. Jetzt muss ich nur noch Soße.
I wonder what's in that basket.
Let's find out.
What do you think you're doing? Kids these days have no regard for personal property.
And no respect for your elders.
I have half a mind to give you a piece of my mind.
And I've got the other half.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Gotta run.
How rude.
So, dann schauen wir mal, ob wir das Brot mit der Ente benutzen können.
Did you know you can keep a scurvy dog warm by sticking it in your armpit?
Okay. Das ist erledigt. Jetzt brauche ich noch Soße und am Wunschbrunnen. Kann ich hier? Nee, leider nicht. Sprechen wir mal mit ein paar.
Excuse me.
Would you boys mind letting us enjoy our day in peace? Thanks.
Aha.
Did you know your feet won't smell if you don't wash them?
That's a nice tree.
I'm only pretending to look at the tree. I'm actually spying on that couple by the pond.
Have they done anything suspicious?
Very. I think they're trying to catch the duck.
What for?
Dinner?
I think they're only feeding the duck?
You haven't been watching them as long as I have.
How's the surveillance going?
He keeps tapping his foot. I think it might be a code.
How's the surveillance going?
He keeps tapping his
Okay.
foot. I think it might be a code.
Also das mit dem Ketchup.
What's this red glob on the ground?
That's ketchup. It's supposed to be really good with scurvy dogs.
Dann nehmen wir es mal.
You should put that on your scurvy dog.
Okay. Dann habe ich jetzt nur noch eines zu erfüllen. Sich etwas am Wunschbrunnen wünschen. Dann schauen wir mal, so wie es aussieht, geht es da weiter. Oh, Münze nehmen.
I should throw my coin in and make a wish.
So. Ich wünsche Chucky einen Schnauzbart. Gute Pflanze. So,
I
machen wir.
wish Chucky had a mustache.
Ah! Whoa!
Okay. Sprechen wir nochmal
What you
wieder
looking
da.
at?
Those kids jumping rope down there? They're doing it wrong.
So.
What you looking at?
Those kids jumping rope down there? They're doing it wrong.
Okay. Speichern wir mal nochmal. Und jetzt würde ich sagen, Tor öffnen und gehen. Oh, das ist auch geil, was Streetwood.
Hey, Dad.
Hello, Mr. Threepwood.
Hey, kids. Having fun?
Yeah.
We got scurvy dogs.
Those have toenails and stuff in them. Ugh, I read about it.
And we were playing your adventures. We just did Big Whoop.
Big whoop. Oh, boy. That takes me back.
I like it when Chucky asked me to put his leg back on. He says it really funny.
You guys always make up the craziest stuff for the ending of that story.
It's fun.
But you can't just change it around. That's not how storytelling works.
A lot of your stories don't feel like they're finished at the end.
What do you mean?
Well, like, there's this one that you call The Secret of Monkey Island, where you went to Monkey Island and fought LeChuck.
Oh, that story has a great ending. There's punching and fireworks. I thought you liked that one.
But you never did find the secret. Not the real one.
Sure, but that's not what that story was about. Kids, let me tell you a story that is about finding the secret of Monkey Island.
Is this a long story?
I think maybe I gotta go use the bathroom or something.
Yeah, I have to go walk my tarantula.
Maybe I should go with them.
No, stick around. This is a good one. See, there was a rumor going around that my old nemesis, LeChuck, had somehow discovered the exact location of the secret of Monkey Island. I knew I had to get it before he did, so I went to Melee to get my own expedition started and beat him to the punch.
Aha. So wie es aussieht. Oh, genau wie Teil 1. Bloß dass da dieses Schiff da unten nicht gestanden ist, das wird wahrscheinlich, ja, fast wie Teil 1, als man dann von da oben gekommen ist. Ron Gilbert. Yep. Deswegen habe ich es mir eigentlich auch gekauft, weil Ron Gilbert da wieder dabei war. Sein Humor hat mir schon gefallen bei 1 und 2 und die anderen habe ich gar nicht gespielt. So. So, wie geht's jetzt weiter? Ah ja, Teil 1, ein freundlicher Ort.
Feels good to be back on Melee Island, the hub of pirating in the Caribbean, where every good expedition begins. I'll see some old pals and get things rolling. Or sailing in this case. Hi, I'm Guybrush Threepwood. Remember me?
Of course. We lookouts have a lot of discretionary thinking time. I use mine to revisit my memories of every Ann, Jack, and Guybrush who spent 5 seconds with me a decade ago on their way to someplace else.
Wow.
Relax, I'm just winding your anchor chain. Haven't seen you in a while, Threepwood. What have you been up to?
Well, you know, freebooting mostly, swashing buckles and so on. But now I'm getting an expedition together to find the secret of Monkey Island.
Oh, you're sailing with LeChuck.
What? LeChuck's here in Melee? Is there widespread panic? Are people evacuating?
He doesn't seem interested in carnage at the moment. Ship's just here taking on supplies and crew, as far as I can tell.
Well, anyway, no. I'm not sailing with LeChuck. You know my history with him.
LeChuck hat meine Frau entführt. Er ist ein böser Zombie-Geister, gerade erschreckender Meere. Wir waren während meiner gesamten Karriere Feinde. Dieser Typ klaut mir all meine besten Ideen. Ich organisiere meine eigene Reise, meine eigene...
He's an evil zombie ghost pirate, terror of the seas, and sometimes the land. A nefarious, conniving, murdering scallywag. A depraved, ruthless villain. And a loud talker. And I'm not those things.
They say opposites attract, but what do I know?
LeChuck kidnapped my wife. He's always had designs on her. I sailed to Monkey Island to find them and get her back.
Oh, I thought you weren't married yet when that happened. And didn't she more or less rescue herself?
That's not the point. We've been enemies for my whole career. Everywhere I go, there he is. He plagues me. He's my nemesis.
Funny. He said the same thing about you.
That guy steals all my best ideas.
Are you sure it isn't the other way around? Seems like he was here first.
I don't know how he found out, but I'm sure he's just doing this to get one up on me.
Oh.
I'm mounting my own voyage. Mine.
Well, you'd better get cracking then. LeChuck's loading up on the outer dock as we speak.
Well, I'm gonna hire a ship and a crew and beat him to the punch. Just as soon as I can get someone to back the venture. I'm a little short on funds at the moment.
In that case, you'll want to go talk to the pirate leaders at the Scum Bar.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's why I came to Melee. It'll be great to see those old guys again. We'll knock back a grog and hash out the details.
Scum Bar, by the docks. Long table in the back.
I know where I'm going.
We'll see.
So. Jetzt bin ich wirklich gespannt.
I detect a certain resemblance here.
Yes, it looks a lot like an owl, doesn't it?
Ob da wieder... Ah, genau so wie damals, nur eben mit einer anderen Grafik. Geht's da durch?
Re-elect Governor Carla. She's hard on softness.
Ja. Ah, ja. Einfach genial, wie damals. Wie damals. Die Scum-Bar. Geil, die Musik. Da kommt gleich wieder Gefühle auf.
I'm here to talk to the pirate leaders about a new expedition.
In the back.
Oh,
I'm here to talk to the pirate leaders about a new expedition.
in the back.
It's a book for storing collectible trivia cards. Looks like someone just left it here unattended.
Ist der Keller ein riesiger Wal, die Küche. Die Küche. Jawohl, wusste ich's doch noch. Oh, da ist gar nichts mehr. Oh, ein Bild, neue Einrichtung.
Looks like a circus act. Maybe.
Zirkusakt, da war er ja auch im Teil 1. Ah, da sind sie die wichtigen Piraten.
Nice and hot. Wonder how long I could stand here before bursting into flames.
Ah, und hier ist die Küche.
Have you seen the pirate leaders around? This is their table. In fact, you'd probably better move. You don't want to get caught sitting here.
It's our table, Rummy.
We're the pirate leaders. Get lost.
Ja,
I hadn't heard there was a change of leadership.
Oh no. Did nobody remember to notify you? Maybe your party invite got lost in the mail.
Where are the three older guys who used to hold court here?
Who cares?
Probably crying in an alley somewhere, wishing they were still relevant.
Making up trials for each other and writing memoirs that no one will read.
Is it you I should talk to about financing an expedition?
An expedition? Who is it that you think you are exactly?
Ich bin Guybrush Threepwood. Jawohl.
Guybrush Threepwood. Probably you've heard of me.
Probably not.
Permission to slaughter the annoying old wastrel man, Captain Madison.
Wait, it was Captain Madison? She's like famous! I've got her on a trading card. Her plunder stats are amazing!
Plunder stats aren't everything.
Then the others were Captain Lila and Captain Trent? It was Lila who threatened to kill you?
Look, they weren't that great, okay? Listen to the story.
Want me to slaughter him?
Don't bother. He's just a harmless hack who thinks he has a good idea for a pirate raid.
Ah, das ist sehr interessant gemacht. Da erklärt er praktisch die Figuren, weil ich kenne die auch nicht. Die werden wahrscheinlich von weiteren Teilen von Monkey Island sein, die ich nicht gespielt habe. Wie gesagt, ich habe nur 1 und 2 gespielt, weil da Ron Gilbert mit beteiligt war.
I'm going to find the secret of Monkey Island.
You're wasting our time.
The secret? I didn't think that was even a real thing.
Ja.
It's a mystery for the ages that must be solved.
The only mystery here is who let you into this bar.
Okay, I'm sensing some reluctance, but hear me out. I can make it worth your while to help me hire a crew. A percentage of their earnings or something?
No one in here wants to chase your pipe dream.
Ja, schauen
If
wir
you
mal.
don't take this opportunity, LeChuck will grab it.
LeChuck?
Yes, the dreaded zombie ghost pirate LeChuck himself is also going after the secret. He's here in Melee getting ready right now. If that doesn't prove it's a worthwhile venture, I don't know what else to tell you.
Great. Problem solved.
Excellent. You'll do it.
No, of course not. Why waste money on an expedition when you can just join the one that's already going?
Have fun with your scary ghost friend. Bye-bye.
Well, the slight problem with that idea is that LeChuck and I are basically mortal enemies. Fine. I don't need you or your money. I can do this on my own. If I can't buy a ship, I'll steal one. I'm a pirate. I'll find a way to get to Monkey Island no matter what it takes. I like the old pirate leaders better.
So, jetzt schauen wir mal. Was haben wir hier alles?
I've got a few coins for incidentals. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Und was haben wir da? Besorgen. Jo, dann marschieren wir mal weiter. Mal schauen. Ja.
Elaine?
Guybrush! Wait, are you going to tell a mushy part now?
A little, but I can skip over the hugs and kisses. Elaine!
Guybrush!
Ja, ich hab recht so.
Remind me how long we've been married?
Well, it still feels like the first day somehow.
How's your scurry prevention project?
It's great! We're going to get a lot of limes to a lot of sailors and save a lot of lives. I've got to come up with a way to deal with Captain Madison, though. The pressure she's putting on the town is making it hard for social programs like mine.
Sounds like we both met Captain Madison.
I don't like her. She's the one who pushed to shut down the shipyard.
She doesn't understand the value of the secret of Monkey Island.
She laughed at me.
Me too.
Obviously, the woman has no taste and a lousy sense of humor.
You wouldn't happen to have a ship with you?
No, silly. I came on a charter. Just like you.
Yeah, I figured that, but it never hurts to ask. I'm finding it harder than I thought to get hold of a ship and a crew for my expedition.
Why don't you ask around at the docks? I'm sure you can find something.
Thanks. I'll try that. I feel better just talking.
Bisschen schnulzen.
Me too.
I have to get going.
Oh, so do I. Lots to do. Bye.
So,
Bye.
dann schauen wir mal. So,
Honoring Melee Island's 27th governor, Carla the Swordmaster, for her heroic actions at Santa Catalina. The problem with this statue is it's not a statue of Elaine, the best ever governor of Melee.
so.
It's Elaine's flyer about how limes combat scurvy. It's important, but boring. I've never once made it all the way to the end. Elaine would kill me if she caught me pulling down her flyers.
Okay.
It doesn't look finished.
Dann gehen wir mal zu. Oder lesen wir das mal schön. Ah, ja, die Uhr.
Foreclosed by order of Madison Enterprises. Oh, this was my favorite novelty store. What kind of person would just paint on a wall like that? Elaine would never have stood for this when she was governor. This place has kind of gone downhill.
Ah, die drei Piraten stehen auch
yeah,
da.
that clock has been broken for decades now. Looks like Wally's got a new place in Melee. I hope he's not still sore about the monocle. At Chamber of Commerce Midnight Luncheon. Back shortly. Well, if it isn't Frank, Fred, and Finn, how are ya?
What you be talking about, boy?
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. In a good way, I promise.
Aren't you that Guybrush Threepwood what wants to be a pirate?
And you're the pirate leaders. I was looking for you.
Aye, well, we're not the pirate leaders no more.
Former pirate leaders is what we are.
Yeah, I already met the chilling trio who took your place. And your table.
Escaped with your life, I see.
What did you mean, wants to be a pirate? I've been a pirate for a long time now.
You may call yourself that, but remember the 3 trials.
I remember them. I was proud to complete them. I still talk about it sometimes. Ad nauseum, Elaine says. It's Latin for something.
Be that as it may, I don't recall us being presented with evidence as to the completion of all 3. That were part of your instructions at the time.
Oh no, really?
'Tis true enough.
Listen, can this wait a little longer? I've got a lot on my to-do list right now.
Aye, it matters not. We've all of us moved on.
Das ist jetzt
How is it that
interessant.
you're not the pirate leaders anymore?
Time and democracy, boy.
Lot of our supporters be dead drunk, or retired.
Our eyes be sharp and our judgments keen. But once ye be labeled old school, that's all that gets seen.
The traditions of the 3 trials have become a joking matter in some quarters.
Dark times.
Aye, they even water the grog and mix it with fruit these days. Won't even strip the varnish off a deck.
How would you like to back my venture to find the secret of Monkey Island?
The secret?
What a prize!
That's what I tried to tell those clowns in the bar.
They say the pirate that holds the secret can never be sunk, that the wind always fills his sails.
So you're in?
Alas, no.
Those days are behind us.
We've sold our ship and sunk all of the cash into our next venture.
Oh, nuts.
Wait. Didn't I hear that the ghost pirate LeChuck be going to Monkey Island?
Don't say it. I'm afraid I'm gonna somehow wind up going with him.
So.
Do you know where I can get my hands on
Schauen
a
wir
ship?
mal.
Nay.
Stands were the only place for
Western,
ships.
ja.
They've shut it down and thrown the man into jail.
Afraid you're out of luck?
No ships. I wonder if I really should be trying to get on LeChuck's ship.
Oh,
Tell me about your next venture. What is it?
'Tis a fish shop on the high street where the general store used to be.
A place for buying of fish and telling tales about the catching of fish.
We'll be open on the morrow. Be sure to stop by.
We'll give you the friend's price on the unpopular fish.
You said you don't have a ship? Where do you get your fish?
From reputable sources.
We'll give you an additional discount if you don't talk about that where people can hear you.
So why'd you pick this corner instead of one closer to your fish shop?
The woman that lives above the shop location is doing a bit of haranguing today. We'll stay clear of her. Thanks very much.
ja.
I'll see you around.
Seems likely.
Moment, da war doch auch noch irgendwas. Schauen wir mal. Quizkarte, jetzt schauen wir mal da rein. Von Bermuda. Das sagt man überhaupt nicht, das muss in... Ich glaube, da muss ich...
The sign says, at Chamber of Commerce Midnight Luncheon. Back shortly. They're having a half-off sale.
Gehen wir mal rein zur Dame.
Ah, the International House of Mojo. This place hasn't changed in years.
Welcome, Guybrush Threepwood.
Nice to see you again.
I have been waiting for you.
So,
You mean,
Fate ordained that you would be here several minutes ago. Only you can manage to be late, even when you are fated to arrive.
It's a gift.
Allow me to seek knowledge on your behalf.
Will it cost me anything?
Pride, free will.
ah, wieder ein Topf.
The way to the secret is like a serpent which swallows itself. Many obstacles lie ahead.
Serpent, obstacles, got it.
You must walk the path. Yet you have already walked the path.
And now I'm going back again.
When you are unsure of the way forward, open this book for guidance on what
Aha.
is to come.
It can tell me my
Ein
future.
Hilfebuch, so wie es
In a way.
aussieht.
Think of it as a book of hints.
What is it really?
A book of hints. Use it wisely. To know too much diminishes the voyage.
Neat. Thanks.
No charge. Now you must go. I have a luncheon.
At this hour?
It is a midnight luncheon, and your destiny lies at the docks.
It does?
Most assuredly.
So, dann schauen wir mal weiter. Ja, das habe ich ja alles angeklickt. Gehen wir jetzt mal in die obere Straße. Da war, glaube ich, auch das Gefängnis. Aber jetzt schauen wir erst mal hier eine
The note
Notiz.
says, forced to close. Thanks for the memories, but cash would have been better.
Ja, kenne ich.
Looks like a volcano island with horns that swallowed a basketball. Hi.
Everybody thinks they know more than the other.
Okay.
Ja, da war auch was dahinter, das weiß ich noch. Quizkarte. Welche der folgenden Inseln ist keine Insel? Monkey Island 2, Woody Island, Cap Island, Reef Island. Ich habe es zwar schon seit Jahren nicht mehr gespielt, aber das weiß ich noch. Da Schild lesen.
Employees only. It seems to be stuck closed.
Sehr schön. Problem ist halt von den anderen Teilen.
This is where I risked my neck for Elaine, and she showed me she only needed me to risk my heart. Also, the windows need some work. Aww, this is where I risked my neck for Elaine, and she showed me she only needed me to risk my heart. Looks sort of like an eye. I think it's a chandelier.
Und da war immer das Gefängnis. Schauen wir mal.
Visitor. Wait.
Ist der auch wieder da?
Guybrush Threepwood?
Otis!
Howdy, kid.
And Stan. Otis, old pal. You haven't changed much since I last saw you.
I blame the government.
In fact, didn't we first meet right here?
Not at all. I was in the other cell that time. You look different somehow. New art style?
How nice of you to notice. Big news. I'm going after the secret of Monkey Island.
That sounds fantastic. You know what I remember most about Monkey Island? The time you busted me out of jail right before we went there. I don't cruise ships anymore. But maybe you can still help me out. Like you did all those years ago.
Possibly, though it was kind of tricky last time, and I didn't get much out of it in the end.
I would be most appreciative. A locksmith has opened very conveniently across the way. I am told locksmiths can make keys for things. Things like cell doors?
Imagine that.
Ja, fragen wir
What did I
mal.
get you for this time?
I'm a victim of circumstance. Circumstance being that too much attention gets paid to little things that don't hurt anyone, while hard killers roam the streets with pistols and swords.
I notice you didn't say what crime they locked you up for.
It was nothing. I was just picking some flowers.
In the forest?
No, that's illegal. I learned my lesson. I picked them from the governor's garden instead.
Blumen aus dem Garten.
Picking flowers from the governor's garden sounds like an unwise choice.
We used to be friends. Sort of. Anyway, they aren't even her flowers. Taxes pay for them. It's public property. I don't know why anyone bothers me about it. I don't hurt anybody.
We'll accept the flowers.
They're annuals. They're doomed anyway. Guybrush, you gotta get me out of here. It's custard night. I don't think I can take that again.
I'll make it my number 3 priority.
Thanks.
So, dann schauen wir mal, gibt's hier sonst noch irgendwas Interessantes?
Watch your boots in here, son.
I don't remember this place being so leaky.
They finally installed running water.
Quizkarte.
How's your day going?
So, schauen wir mal. Dauert es zu Fuß nach Monkey Island zu gehen? Also das weiß ich leider nicht.
It says jail rules. 1. No escaping.
So.
Any writing that was once here has been rubbed away. I think there's some writing on it, but it's too tiny to read.
Guybrush, you gotta get me out of here.
I'll make it my number 3 priority.
Ah, das ist mit Otis
You
sprechen.
look like you're having a good time. That's nice.
Hey, Stan.
Hello there, son.
What did you do that got you arrested?
Let me tell you something, son. It's not what a man does that matters, it's who he is. Maybe one day, in a moment of weakness, he crosses a line. But if he's confident about what's in his heart, he can hold his head high. And you know what's in my heart, son?
Blood and goopy stuff?
People. People are in my heart. Anything I may have allegedly done, you can be sure I did it because I care about people.
So,
what
schauen wir
exactly
mal.
did you allegedly do for people that got you arrested?
I gave them what they wanted. Now, naturally, people don't always know that they want the things they want. Sometimes it takes a man with a talent like mine to show them the way. And sometimes people who are jealous of that sort of talent will try to put all sorts of unpleasant labels on it. They use hurtful words like scam and misrepresentation and even fraud. But it's all just marketing, son. As natural as the rocks and the trees and the Melee Island flounder birds. And that's why I'm not worried. I'm awaiting final judgment of the court, but I'm certain I'll be acquitted. They don't hang people for marketing.
It sounds like you should have been arrested several decades ago. I mean, why now, all of a sudden?
One word, jurisdiction. I was expanding my core business, you see, trying to provide ship owners with a variety of ship maintenance necessities. Sponges, barnacle scrapers, repair manuals, rudder tape. I had a whole line of products. I expanded my distribution to other islands all over the Caribbean. And that's when I ran into trouble. Some of those islands have different laws, you see, that might not seem so fair to men like you and me. They slapped me with a ton of paper, talking about things like standards of quality and consumer protection and environmental impact. They didn't understand that I wasn't really selling porthole wipers. I was selling happiness. And my customers were happy. They were perfectly happy right up until some clown with a briefcase came along and told them they weren't. It's a crock, son, and that's why it won't stand up in court. I'll be out before you know it.
Hattest du nicht eine Anwälte?
Didn't you used to have a law practice or something?
Used to, but I was disbarred for what we former law practitioners call moral turpitude.
Is that a real word?
More or less. It's one of those handy catch-all words that you can use whatever you want because it doesn't mean anything specific.
So.
I'm going after the secret of Monkey Island.
The secret? Boy, that takes me back. But if you're looking for help, you're barking up the wrong enchilada. Just remember, life has no guarantees or warranties. Only jamborees.
Thanks. That's advice.
So,
I
schauen wir
was
mal.
really hoping to buy a ship from you.
Well, now, normally, I would do absolutely anything to get you into a comfortable ride right away. But my hands are tied. They're shackled. I can't do it. Not at any price. I'm completely out of inventory. Every ship on the lot was seized by unscrupulous lawyers who don't care about your sailing needs the way I do.
Oh, that's terrible.
Believe me, I feel worse about it than you do.
So.
Could I get a ship from you after you're out of jail?
Don't count on it, son. I expect to be released any time, but I haven't even got anything on back order. It pains me to lose a sale, but if you need to get off this island, you're gonna have to find another way.
Could you refer me to a competitor?
Stab me in the heart. You'd go to a competitor? Where's your loyalty, son?
Well, seeing as you're in jail and have no ships and can't help me, I thought...
It doesn't matter anyway. There's no competition. I drove them all out of business long ago. Nobody can play the angles like old Stan. I didn't really anticipate a situation like this one coming up.
Ja, schauen wir
Any
mal.
tips on how to steal a ship from someone else?
One word, son. Mutiny. Get yourself on board a worthy vessel, gain the confidence of the crew, wait for the right moment, and strike. If you don't get killed, look me up afterwards. I'll give you a good price for anything that can stay above the waterline. Naturally, it'll have to be store credit until I get back on my feet.
So.
Okay, well, thanks, I guess.
Anything I can do to help you, let me know. As long as it doesn't involve selling you a ship.
Are you sure there's no way I can get a ship from you?
I'm afraid that's the case.
Nuts. It's starting to look like LeChuck's ship really is the only available ship on the island. Would it help if I broke you out of jail?
Now that's a kind offer, it truly is. Warms me to think that you'd do that for your old pal Stan. But I've got to think about the optics. I don't want to damage my case, and escaping from jail doesn't look good at trial. So thanks, but no thanks.
Are you sure there's no way I can get a ship from you?
I'm afraid that's the case.
Nuts. It's starting to look like LeChuck's ship really is the only available ship on the island.
Eventuell, dass ich da später auf ihn
Now that you
zurückkommen kann.
mention it, there is one thing I've been missing during my time here in this lofty establishment. In all the rush and fuss and document shredding surrounding my arrest, I completely forgot to grab my toothbrush. If you happen to be passing by the shipyard, you might grab it for me. It'll be on my desk in the office.
Sure thing.
So.
See you later.
Yep.
Dann gehen wir mal wieder raus. Und der hat ja was vom Schlüsseldienst gesprochen. Und da sieht man nach Schlüsseldienst aus. Aber jetzt speichern wir erst einmal und besuchen die Schlosserei.
Welcome to my shop.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
At the end of the plank.
My mother's. Please don't touch it.
Are these for customers?
Hands off. Those are my last crackers.
So.
What's this lock?
That's for hats.
What's that key?
That's for a lockable quiver.
These are nice.
It's a locksmithing test.
Close it all up, and if you get the key out, you pass?
That's the beginner level, yes. The real challenge is to lock the larger box inside the smaller one.
Oh, dann schauen wir mal nach. Ankern.
I'm Guybrush Threepwood.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Locksmith.
Kidding, right?
Nope. And before you ask, yes, they did. Yes, it was. And they really, really wanted me to follow in the family business.
So.
Can you really make keys for stuff? That seems like a magic trick.
Modern locks have serial numbers that tell me all I need to know. No tricks necessary. Just information.
Uh-huh.
It seems wrong that you can make a key from just the serial number.
It's a failsafe, in case people lose their key. You know how people are.
Aren't locks way less secure if all you need is a number to get a new key?
That's why you should never share the serial number with anyone.
What happens if you lose your key and the serial number at the same time?
The numbers are usually engraved on the locks, just in case. And if you lose the lock, chances are you don't need a new key.
Well, what's to stop me reading the serial number on someone else's lock and having a key made?
The numbers are printed small enough that you need a special tool to read them. Only a pro would have a tool like that.
Can I borrow your lock serial number reading tool?
My magnifier? Not a chance. I could be drummed out of the union for that. If you want to play locksmith, you'll have to look elsewhere.
Who's the old lady in the window across the way?
You mean Whitey Bones. She used to be the undertaker here years ago. Seems to know a lot of things that maybe don't quite fit together.
Schauen wir
How
mal.
do you know Whitey Bones?
Not well at all. But she's been living near my shop for quite a few years. She was across from my old location, too.
Would she moved when you moved?
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Tell me again about how to have keys made. It's exciting.
You bring me the serial number from the lock, I make the key. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, also brauche ich Ihre Lupen.
I'm on a quest to find the secret of Monkey Island.
Exciting. The story in my family is that the secret is sort of like a key, one that opens all locks at once.
If it is a key, could you duplicate it?
I'm not sure you're supposed to take it literally.
How would you like to join a pirate crew?
Would I have to leave my shop?
Well, yes, that's the general idea. The crew actually get on the ship and, crew it.
Thanks. I'll pass. Try down at the docks. There's always somebody hiring somebody down there.
I think I'll browse around a bit.
Try not to touch anything. I've got a system, and I don't like it disrupted.
So. Coole Maschine.
That's an impressive machine.
Yep. This wouldn't be much of a lock shop without a key grinder.
Handsome-looking parrot.
And also vicious. But it was my mother's favorite.
I see everyone in that portrait has lovely locks.
If you have to make a pun, at least make a good one.
Was ist das?
What is that? It's definitely not a key. Or a lock.
It's a fishing lure, of course.
Of course.
Aha.
Is that from a famous locksmith band or something?
My mother's band, the Golden Keys. They were named after some actual golden keys that she spent a bunch of time looking for.
So, gibt's sonst noch was?
These are nice.
Thanks.
So, dann gehen wir mal wieder. Also brauche ich eine Lupe. Nur die Frage ist, wo kriege ich die her? Speichern wir mal ab.
Once you have a key, you've got to open the door.
Jetzt erkunden wir die Gasse. Aha. Und jetzt gehen wir zur Gouverneurin, wenn es noch so ist wie früher.
Carla.
Guybrush Threepwood.
Hello, Swordmaster.
Prepare to taste my blade, you washed-up hack.
Anything but your cooking.
Low-hanging fruit, but it works.
It's nice to see you again.
You too.
How's the governorship treating you?
It's not as straightforward as I'd hoped. For some reason, you can't just tell everyone what to do and assume they'll do it. That's new territory for me.
Not for me. Maybe I should be governor.
I heard from your wife. She's coming by to talk about scurvy legislation. I assume you're involved with that somehow?
Eileen can handle it. She doesn't need me.
I don't doubt that, but it isn't about what she does or doesn't need. If it isn't about the scurvy project, why are you here?
I'm looking for the secret of Monkey Island.
Good for you. I don't have it.
I'll be needing a crew. You interested?
Ha! I'd rather swallow a live badger than crew with you again. No offense intended.
So, unlikely but still possible?
No. You want a crew, go down to the docks and hire one.
Is there a government program that funds expeditions to find secrets of Monkey Island?
Oh, gosh. You're too late for that one. We canceled it last year and diverted the funds to build a habitat for the rare Caribbean whining leech.
Darn.
There's a ship at the docks that's headed for Monkey Island.
I think you're talking about LeChuck's ship.
Do you want to go to Monkey Island or don't you?
Elaine says Captain Madison is hurting her scurvy project.
Not the legislative part, just the public funding. The town was in a bind a while back, and that so-and-so, Captain Madison, saw an opportunity. She lent us the cash we needed, but now we're up a creek paying the interest. Things like social programs, waste management, and town maintenance are all on the back burner.
I like that woman less every minute.
You and me both.
Well, the mansion hasn't changed much. Elaine's style is still everywhere. Even the books are hers.
They're my books now, as you well know.
I don't really have anything to say. I just like doing this.
Practice is nice, but I'm busy these days. Governor stuff.
So, dann schauen wir uns mal um.
Edgy. Ugh, looks like Carla wasn't too keen on getting her portrait done. I've always thought this looked like my old ship, the Sea Monkey. I tried to read that once, but I couldn't finish it. Warning, do not try these tricks at home. Does not include Secret of Monkey Island. Oh. It's a cookbook. It has 4 stars, but it looks like they're for difficulty. It's thicker than I would have imagined. Note to the reader. No disguised secrets are revealed in this book. The blurb says it's a solid if somewhat predictable story about a roguish pirate and a doomed romance with a woman of station. The blurb says it's a solid if somewhat predictable story about a roguish pirate and a doomed romance with a woman of station.
Dann schauen wir mal nach, was es sonst noch so gibt.
It's a lot of work being governor. I like your stuffed, guess it's a dog?
Please, take that and throw it away. It was a gift from the Earl of Thickwater, who is a contemptible pig.
Oha, dann nehmen wir's. Und da oben sehe ich eine weitere Quizkarte. So. Shukis Freundin, wer ist Shuki?
Elaine told me that's Lauder Neckbeard, second governor of Melee Island. His overly strict morals and overly lax regulatory policies helped make the island what it is today. I've seen that same painting on a box of frozen instant cereal.
Stay out of my bedroom, Threepwood.
So.
I don't really have anything to say. I just like doing this.
Practice is nice, but I'm busy these days. Governor stuff.
Dann gehen wir mal wieder. Und ich habe gesehen, da hinten geht's. Oh, die Musik gefällt mir. Ah, da geht's raus. Waldausguck Werft. Marschieren wir mal in den Wald.
Warning. The dark forest ahead is deadly and twisty. Maps are highly recommended.
Da ist noch eine Quizkarte. Was steht drin? Buddha sagt mir überhaupt nichts.
Oh, I used to love these when I was 6.
Schilde.
Museum of Pirate Lore. I used to love these when I was 6. Until I got trapped in one for 2 days. I think they're illegal now.
Schild an Tier.
At Chamber of Commerce Midnight Luncheon. Back shortly. Once upon a time, I won a t-shirt right here on the front lawn.
So, dann gehen wir wieder zurück. Wald ist im Moment noch uninteressant, aber die Werft.
Wow, it's worse than I imagined. The assets of this establishment have been seized to settle a class action lawsuit. Have a nice day. It says, Tan's previously owned vessels. So sad. Stan's used to be the best place to buy used ships.
So, dann schauen wir mal.
The window's all boarded up, and it's very dark in there. Is that an old toothbrush?
Das bedeutet, ich muss hier reinkommen.
I remember when these torches lit up Stan's previously owned vessels like a carnival. This used to be such a bright, cheery place. It's sad to see the shipyard like this. Looks like the only available ship on the island right now is LeChuck's.
Aha.
It always looks bigger on this side of the island.
Eimer.
Stan used this to clean his ships. It's all rusted out now. Stan used this to clean his ships. It's a dried up old sea sponge.
Den kann man
Looks
nicht
like the
nehmen.
only available ship
Eimer.
on the island right now is
Schade.
LeChuck's.
Haben sie das extra ins Deutsche hier auch in der Grafik übersetzt? Nicht schlecht. Oh, was habe ich jetzt alles?
It's soft and extra fuzzy.
So. Und jetzt heißt es überlesen. Gehen wir in den Wald. Mal schauen, ob wir da was finden.
A classic specimen of Alata needlius, a carnivorous vascular dicot known for its tasteful coloration, slight wiggle, and loads of tiny, sharp teeth.
Was gibt's sonst noch? Hier eine Quizkarte.
Ooh, purple flowers. These must be teasel, or alliums, or clematis.
So, was haben wir jetzt für? Terror Island. Das weiß ich nicht, weil ich nicht gespielt habe. Da lang gehen, da lang gehen. Gehen wir mal da lang.
Ew.
Nochmal eine Quizkarte. Später kann man im nicht kann man heiße Wiener. Jawohl.
A classic specimen of Alata needlius, a carnivorous vascular dicot known for its tasteful coloration, purple flowers. These must... I'm hopelessly lost without a map.
So, dann gehen wir nochmal rein. Und jetzt gehen wir da entlang.
I'm hopelessly lost without a map.
Aha. Dann gehen wir hier entlang. Ah, die nächste Karte. Schauen wir mal, was diesmal. Was ist ein echter Schädelname? Das weiß ich doch nicht. Ach, das sind viele.
Purple flowers. I'm hopelessly lost without a map.
So, da entlang. Und dann war ich hier noch nicht.
I'm hopelessly lost without a map.
Okay, da komme ich dann ohne Karte nicht weiter. Gut zu wissen. Gehen wir mal zum Ausguck.
Hi again. Oh, those new pirate leaders are real jerks. They laughed at me, and they won't fund my expedition. Why didn't you warn me?
Would you have listened?
Of course. Okay, no, probably not.
So, dann gehen wir zu den Docks. Zu den Docks schlendern. Okay, da speichern wir vorsichtshalber noch.
How clever. Expedition to fabled Monkey Island. crew positions available. Serve under LeChuck, the most fearsome pirate on the 8 seas. Equal opportunity employer. Inquire here.
Looking for a job? Step this way.
The clipboard in your hand says you're the quartermaster.
The crew says I'm the quartermaster. Clipboard doesn't get a vote. You look like a guy without many options. You want a job? I'm short a swabby. LeChuck's an equal opportunity employer. Even humans are mostly tolerated.
Absolutely. I'd love to be a swabby. Swabbing is one of my favorite things in the whole world. The restful, mindless repetition, the delicate scent of old soapy water, the proud satisfaction of a sparkling plank.
Okay. Save the strokes for the decks. The only requirement is that you bring your own mop. If you've got a mop, the job is... Hey, wait a minute. What's your name, sailor?
Smith. John Smith.
Uh-huh. LeChuck gave me a blacklist, and you're on it. In fact, you are the blacklist. I'm sorry. Can't hire you. You're obviously Guybrush Threepwood.
Well, that's a slight hitch.
I'm confused. Didn't you say you were gonna get your own ship?
Yes, but then suddenly I thought, why bother? I wanted a ship and a crew. Here was a ship and a crew. Ripe for the taking. All I had to do was get on board, wait for the right moment, and strike.
Strike?
Mutiny the crew, seize the ship. Be a pirate.
Except they wouldn't hire you because they knew who you were.
Yeah, that was a problem. Also, I needed a mop.
Oh, mal schauen wir mal da nach hinten. Oh, was ist das?
I hope this isn't one of those party cruises. No parking of demonic, ghostly, or undead vessels or scooters. Tuesdays 3 to 4.
Oh.
Say what you want about my evil, horrible nemesis LeChuck, but he does know how to stock a ship. Looks like this is going to be a long journey.
Was habe ich jetzt genommen? So. Ah, die alte Musik
Why
ist
was
da noch
Wally
durch.
in such a hurry? He wouldn't sell us out to Madison, would he?
I believe he needed to relieve the pressure upon him in a different way.
Ah, den kennen wir doch.
Hi, Cobb. Hard to believe after all these years you're still here.
I was declared a historical landmark.
Yeah, the place does seem different from what I remember.
It's this new, younger generation of pirate leaders. Oh, they're highfalutin dark magic. Look at us. We're so much better than you because we don't drink grog before getting married. These kids today are all about sacking and pillaging. They've got no heart.
I'm gonna find the secret of Monkey Island. Wanna come?
I heard the secret is just some marketing gimmick Stan thought up. That only the gullible and naive would go looking for it.
Tell me about Loom.
Oh, I'm so sick of pirates asking me about Loom. Get lost.
Then why don't you take off the Ask Me About Loom button?
My grog-riddled body is fused with it. I'm more button than man at this point.
Oh, come on. Tell me about Loom. For old time's sake.
Beat it.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
Fine. You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty? Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic. Stunning, high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score, and musical effects.
Not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects, and magic spells. Beat the rush. Go out and buy Loom today. Yes. Now get lost.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
So.
Guybrush Threepwood, as I live and breathe, how have you been?
Same old, same old.
How's Elaine? She was always my favorite governor. Also, she covered your tab when you stopped coming in.
Still in public service. Fighting scurvy now.
My place is clean. Our health certificates are up to date.
No, it's not like that. She's got a foundation. They're trying to promote limes as a preventative.
Oh, well, tell her I say hello.
Do you know where I can buy a mop?
Buy? You don't want to buy a mop.
I think I do.
The mop is the formal tool of a cook. Not as clumsy or random as a dish rag. An elegant tool for a more civilized cleaning. You cannot hope to succeed with the mop of another.
I can't?
You must construct your own. A single, perfect instrument that you will keep and use for a lifetime.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Once you build it, the mop will become your constant companion, your tool, and a ready means of defense against spills of all kinds.
Build it?
The wood is the heart of the handle. The heart is the handle of the cook. You are one.
Not helpful so far.
You must find a particular tree. A tree uniquely suited to the handles of mops. Carve your handle from a limb of that tree. Any questions?
How do I find the mop handle tree?
I can't tell you exactly where it is, because this is your own personal journey.
Irgendwie verarschen sie da die Karadefilme von der 80er
I
Jahre.
can't tell you exactly where it is, because this is your own personal journey.
What kind of wood is the tree?
That is something you must discover for yourself.
What about the head of the mop?
Oh, you have to have one, of course, but pretty much anything will do. It's mostly about the handle.
What kind of wood did you say the tree was?
I didn't.
Are you sure I can't just buy a mop? Yours, for example.
No, you've got to make one. Trust me on this.
Okay, guess I'll do it. What's wrong?
You gave the story the wrong title. It should be called Mop Quest. When do we get to the piratey parts?
Well, even the coolest professions involve more mopping up than you would think. It seemed crazy to me at the time, too. But don't forget, it was all so I could board a ship, take command, and sail to Monkey Island. But first, I had to make a mop.
Oh, was haben wir da?
Pests or garnishes?
A good cook sources local supplies when he can.
You remind me never to eat here again. The food is more exciting when you can smell the risk.
So. Bella Fischer. Das ist wieder.
Active little guys, aren't they? Looks like a mugshot.
So, dann schauen wir mal.
The plaque says, in memory of looming seagulls of old. I think someone tried to secure a boat with this.
So, jetzt halt noch Schnur.
It's hopeless.
Oh.
Pleasantly scorching hot.
Ugh, I remember that stench as if it were yesterday.
Was war da oben nochmal? Ranzige Lebensmittel. Oh, da ist was.
It's amazing what you can achieve if you put your mind to it. Then you have a packet of stick-on stars.
So. Das wird wohl kaum gehen. So. Oh, zu den Docks wollte ich gerade nicht.
Hey, watch it!
So, also jetzt habe ich einen Schwamm. So. Bäume findet man ja normalerweise im Wald. Schauen wir mal.
I'm hopelessly lost without a map.
Ja, aber hier wohl nicht. Gehen wir mal ins Museum.
Hi there. Welcome to the Melee Island Museum of Pirate Lore. I'm Conrad, the curator and docent here. I also edit the Pirate Times newsletter. Here, take my business card.
Thanks?
The museum showcases the largest collection of pirate memorabilia in the Caribbean. Or on Melee Island at the very least. The provenance of each item has been very carefully researched and fact-checked by myself and my team. Authenticity is our watchword and our pledge. Feel free to explore. And if you have any questions, just ask.
So.
What can you tell me about this eye patch?
That's the pride of the collection. It belonged to Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. Supposedly, it had voodoo powers that would disguise him. I tried it on though, and nothing happened.
So, dann schauen wir mal das an.
What's the story with the wanted poster?
That is the earliest known wanted poster for Captain Kate Capsize. You can tell how notorious she was by the huge number of crimes listed there. Very impressive. I got it from a collector on Fat Island.
Those are my own crimes, actually. I was pretty much public enemy #1 on Fat Island at the time. I stuck Kate's picture on there so she'd get thrown in jail.
That would never work. Nobody's that clueless in real life.
You don't believe me?
It's not a question of belief.
Never mind. It's not important. Tell me again about the wanted poster.
That is the earliest known wanted poster for Captain Kate Capsize.
Ja, ich erinnere mich
What's the
dran.
significance of the peg leg?
That belonged to the infamous Peg Leg Patty. She used to hide a spare cutlass in it, in case of capture. Sadly, that's the reason she's no longer with us.
That's a nice oar.
The one with the coffin, yeah. The coffin had a lot of water damage when I got it from the voodoo lady in town. But I managed to restore it. It was used by a certain well-known captain in a daring escape from a Turkish prison.
The water damage is actually from the swamp on Scab Island.
Unlikely. The prison in question is nowhere near Scab Island.
I'm just trying to help.
Thanks. I've got it under control.
Tell me about this hunk of wood.
That's an original plank from the Golden Hind, autographed by Francis Drake himself.
Is this a left hook or a right hook?
That once belonged to the dread pirate Meat Hook. Supposedly he was ambidextrous. Also, he used to live right here, on Melee.
Mir passiert nichts, wenn man da mehrmals...
Tell me again about the coffin?
It was used by a certain well-known captain in a daring escape from a Turkish prison.
So.
Eye patch worn by Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. What's this melted lump of metal?
It used to be a mug. It was melted by some kind of acid. It was found in the Malay jail many years ago, after an incident where like 20 pirates escaped.
Hey, I did that. I had to keep pouring the grog from mug to mug because it was melting them. I had an armload of mugs, and I juggled them all the way from the scum bar to the jail. Also, I could get Otis to join my crew. Not my greatest decision in retrospect.
That's a pretty wild story.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm sure you are, but it just doesn't quite square with the official record. So it's hard to substantiate.
Substantiate? You've got an eyewitness.
Eyewitnesses are notoriously inaccurate. Human memory is plastic and suggestible.
Not yours, apparently.
No, of course not. I deal in facts.
That map looks familiar.
That's 1/4 of the original map to the treasure of Big Whoop. I got it from the cartographer on Low Street. Apparently, he was somehow involved in the search for Big Whoop.
About all Wally managed to do was get kidnapped by LeChuck's henchmen.
That's not the way he tells it.
You should think about hiring a research assistant.
Oh, I did. Unpaid, of course. Intern.
So.
How on earth do you have that note?
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. That was found, tucked inside of a book at the Fat Island Library. It's the actual note, left by the ghost pirate LeChuck when he kidnapped Governor Marley.
I know what it is. The lookout handed it to me just before I finished my 3 trials. I was crushed, but undaunted. I gathered a crew and I sailed to Monkey Island to save her. Not that she needed it, as it turned out.
Wow, man, you're really into this. I've got a role-playing group on Thursday nights.
This is absurd. It's like this whole wall is stuff from my personal adventures, but somehow I'm not even mentioned in your stories.
That's what's so great about this museum. Everyone makes their own connections with the exhibits, and it's highly personal and different for everyone.
That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
That's okay. You don't need to say anything. Just listen to what the exhibits tell you.
Fine.
So. Was ist das?
Why do you have this big gear?
It's from the Malay Clock Tower, stolen during a pirate raid nearly 75 years ago. It was recently found at an inn on St. Martin, where it was being used to mill corn. I traded some old furniture for it that we had in the back room.
Has anyone thought about putting it back in the clock?
Nah. If the clock started working, it would only confuse people.
So. Gehen wir da mal rein. Und was haben wir da? Die nächste Bisskarte. So, tut mir leid.
It's cracker mix. Some assembly required. It's cracker mix. Some assembly required.
Muss ich noch dran gewöhnen, dass ich mit rechts nehme. Ja, da kann man nur... Ich glaube, das war's. Und wenn ich jetzt diesen Cracker-Mix habe, könnte ich...
There's some very tiny writing on it.
Okay. Das bedeutet, ich brauche diese Lupe. Obere Straße, untere Straße. In der oberen Straße war, glaube ich, dieser Schlüssel. Oh, kommt mir auch irgendwie bekannt vor.
LeChuck, sir. Just thought I'd pop in and let you know. Preparations to set sail are almost done.
You have all the supplies for the spell to get to Monkey Island?
Check. Squid ink, chickens, brimstone, cinnamon, monkey blood, mint, and an annoying skull.
Well done. Mark yourself down for one less lashing this voyage.
Funny story. Guybrush Threepwood tried to sign on to the crew.
Threepwood? He must be looking for the secret too. That guy steals all my best ideas. Have him killed. Wait, let him live. I want him to see me sail off for Monkey Island knowing the secret is lost to him forever.
Sure. I want to bring this up one more time. Is searching for this mythical secret of Monkey Island a good idea? Should we be out terrorizing the high seas, instilling fear, creating mayhem, being more on brand for LeChuck?
I've had enough of you questioning my orders. Finish loading the ship, and whatever you do, don't let Threepwood on board.
Very well.
So, also die Augenklappe brauche ich auf jeden Fall, um
Hello, Mr. Brush.
Hiya.
verkleidet an Bord zu kommen, würde ich mal sagen. Aber jetzt...
Especially fortified for the healthy parrot diet.
Jetzt schauen wir mal, ob wir's...
It doesn't seem interested. It doesn't seem interested.
Mhm.
I see a peninsula trailing off into small islands, but no X marks the spot.
It's southern Florida. I have family there.
Aha. Oh. Fisskalle. Was ist das für eine? Pirates Times, ich glaube, so weit war ich noch gar nicht. So.
Handsome looking parrot.
And also vicious. But it was my mother's favorite.
Schade, da habe ich gedacht, könnte ich jetzt das verwenden. Aber wenn es nicht interessiert... Jetzt mal überlegen. Nochmal nach hinten gehen. Ist da nochmal eine Quizkarte?
Employees only. It seems to be stuck closed.
Jo, dann gehen wir mal wieder vor.
Things are not what they seem.
The note says, forced to close. Thanks for the memories, but cash would have been better. The note says, forced to close. Thanks for the memories, but cash would have been better. The note says, forced to
ja.
close. Thanks for the memories,
Gleiche.
but cash would have been better. Looks like Wally's got a new place in Melee.
So.
Hey, Wally.
Well, 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 look what the surf washed ashore. It's Guybrush Threepwood.
Nice to see you again too, Wally. Whatever your last name is.
I spent years in therapy getting over being burned, blinded, blown up, abandoned, and marooned because of you.
Yeah, good times, huh?
You're lucky I'm past all that and am running the best map shop within the Caribbean and beyond.
You wouldn't happen to have a map to the secret of Monkey Island.
Funny you should ask. I recently made one on commission, but then they destroyed all my source material. It is the only one in existence. Best of luck to you.
I'm looking for a tree to make a stupid mop from. Have you got a map for that?
So the cook has sent you on one of his spiritual journeys? Been a while since I made one of those mop tree maps. What kind of tree is it again?
I don't know. A wood one?
That's okay. Just bring me a sliver of the wood and I can work it out from there. I'm that good.
So.
You have a lot of maps in here.
We've got so many, you need a map to find them all. Haha, a little cartographer humor.
Yeah, I'd forgotten how funny it was. Looks like the shop across the way is in trouble.
The high-stakes, ego-driven world of pirating is changing, and dark magic is taking over. Voodoo magic is fun and all, but it's not what the new generation wants. Me? I'm on the bleeding edge and making a bundle. I'm about to franchise.
The town seems to be pretty run down.
Since Captain Madison made Melee her base of operations, people have been complaining. They say she brings a bad element to town, but that bad element spends a lot of money on maps. So, what am I supposed to do?
Do what's right?
I am. I'm doing what's right for Wally.
Tell me again what you need to make me a map to the mop tree.
Just bring me a sliver of the wood needed to make a mop.
Jo, dann würde ich da.
Bye. They're like glasses, only way less convenient. Wally, can I have one of these maps?
Absolutely. If you pay for it.
Never mind.
So.
Look behind you, a three-headed monkey.
Oh, please take one. I use them to promote my business. See, it says maps and more on the edge.
Thanks.
So.
It's a long, small map of somewhere far, far away. Ooh, looks chilly up there. What's this a map of?
The secret movements and activities of my competitors.
That sounds reasonable. This map shows both sides of the globe.
It's twice the value.
This must be Trouser Island.
Actually, Mr. Threepwood, it's...
Yep, Trouser Island. It's a map on a fan. What'll they think of next?
So.
I had a map like this once, but I sailed left. That looks like a treacherous voyage. It says, rating, Cursed Black Diamond. It's maps wrapped in maps. I didn't know you could do that. The first rule of piracy is, never buy a used treasure map. Hey Wally, what's with the window ladder?
I use it to keep an eye on the neighbors.
Well, it's good to have a hobby. Hey Wally, what's in these boxes?
Maps.
Ooh, this one looks nice. How much is it?
Oh, that one? Too much.
Was haben wir da oben?
Good old mazes. Can't get enough mazes. It looks expensive. And shiny. I like shiny. Somewhat understated and somewhat overpriced. Huh, never seen one of those before.
Oh.
I try to steer clear of sea monsters myself.
So. Jetzt gehen wir mal ins Gefängnis.
Hey, Guybrush! Hey, kid!
Und
They say the only real prison is the one in your head. But take it from me, that's a
benutzen
lot
das
of barnacles.
da.
I can read the serial number. I'll write it down so I don't forget.
So. Und tschüss und ab zu ihm.
Hello, Mr. Brush.
Hiya.
So.
Can you make me a key from this serial number?
Sure. Good choice on the lock. These are really sturdy. It's the same kind they use over at the jail.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence. I had no idea.
So, den Laden verlassen. Ab zum Gefängnis.
Hey, Guybrush! Hey, kid!
So, jetzt benutzen wir ihn.
Word of advice, kid. Stick to the narrow straights.
Otis, the authorities have reconsidered your case and decided that you should go free.
I'm very grateful to the authorities and will not mention their name should any awkward questions be asked. Good luck, Stan. I hope you get acquitted.
Oh, it's in the bag, friend, but thanks.
Hey, Stan.
Hello there, son.
I've been to the shipyard. Your office is all boarded up.
With your toothbrush sealed inside, presumably.
Well, don't worry yourself about it then, son. I found a dead centipede in the corner that should do until they let me out.
Are you sure you don't want me to break you out?
115%, son. But thanks.
See you later.
So, eins haben wir jetzt gemacht.
I'll stay on this side of the bars, just in case.
Und jetzt zur Scamper. Nach hinten. Jetzt schauen wir mal, ob wir da einen... Oh. Ist ein neuer Gast drin?
Well, it's definitely a mop.
Habe ich irgendwas, womit ich...
Stay away from my mop.
Well, you look like the health inspector tasted your stew. Or you did.
Worse. Marlin is here.
Who?
The customer I have nightmares about. He's the only importer of yak fat on the island, so I need to keep him happy, but he makes that impossible. Today he wants me to make him a dish that he ate last week at some kind of event at the governor's mansion. But of course he doesn't remember what it's called or know what's in it or even remember what color it was. He says he thinks it has ingredients in it. I don't have the slightest idea what to make.
So?
If I brought you a recipe, could you make it?
Of course. I'm a cook. See the hat?
I'll see what I can find out.
Auf gut Deutsch mit der Gouverneurin sprechen.
The plaque says, in memory of looming seagulls of old.
Ein Messer oder so gibt es hier leider nicht. Das könnte mich hier einen Splitter holen von dem Mob. So. Aber ihn habe ich jetzt freigelassen. Das Monokel, da kann ich dann auch noch hier nachschauen, welche Nummer drauf steht. Und dann der Augenklappe nehmen. Aber zuvor muss ich herausfinden, wie ich an Holz komme für so einen, für den Wischmob. Aber das mache ich nicht jetzt, sondern das nächste Mal. Für heute sind 2 Stunden rum. Ja. Und da lasse ich es dabei. Also wirklich, muss ich sagen, die Rätsel sind wieder wie gewohnt von damals 1 und 2, Monkey Island 1 und 2. Nur an die Grafik muss ich mich jetzt noch gewöhnen. Aber ich denke, das dürfte das kleinere Problem sein. Hoffe ich zumindest, weil die ist wirklich gewöhnungsbedürftig, die Grafik, aber ansonsten hat es mich wieder gepackt. Also, wünsche ich noch einen schönen Tag. Man sieht sich das nächste Mal wieder, also spätestens heute in einer Woche wird es dann wieder spielen um 19:30 Uhr hier auf Twitch. Und ich werde es auch auf meinen YouTube-Kanal hochstellen. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und ich hoffe, dass wir uns auch dann wiedersehen. Und dann würde ich sagen, ja, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!